Join us for a driving review of the Porsche Cayenne GTS Coupé. Let's go! Here in the front we can see put up 911 style, a typical round Porsche shape. In the GTS version, really strong air intakes here. Then with the sports lightweight package for today and also with some carbon accentuations, really interesting, the chalk grey color. The length is at 4.93 meters, 16 foot 2 or 194 inches. The GTS here comes always with a sportier suspension no matter which one you pick. If you go with the PASM, this adaptive suspension, or then also optional air suspension we have here today, but always a sportier setup then. The GTS also comes with 21-inch wheels, the ones you can see here, usually in black, but you can also go with the GTS and then de-pick black wheels and just go for these, for example, in this Spider style. Really impressive. And in the sports lightweight package that is available for the Coupé only, but for different versions, not only for the GTS, you also, for example, get a carbon fiber roof. In the rear we can see the light strip going all the way over the vehicle. Then there's an additional black spoiler right here and the black GTS badging. In the lower part, this diffuser style, really strong, also with carbon fiber accents in here in this design package. And in the lower part, the centralized sports exhaust, and this one only available for the Cayenne V8 models. And the GTS, here since the GTS update, once again belongs to this V8 model family. So for the Porsche Cayenne, you can get the 3-liter V6, the 2.9-liter V6 biturbo, and here the 4-liter V8 biturbo with the GTS or the Turbo SE hybrid. And here in the GTS it has 460 horsepower and 4.5 seconds is the acceleration figure to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. So hybrids, both for the 6-cylinder and the 8-cylinder, but here GTS is of course traditionally pure petrol. Inside of the doors, all wrapped tightly as for design, that's beautifully done. Nice levers also as for the build quality and so on. And then here, sports design lightweight package, here with the Alcantara surface for the steering wheel. This is really cool, always a good grip. And also these special seats, they have a unique design indeed. And I mean, yeah, the unicolor one would be more suitable for the masses definitely, but they are very unique. But the most important thing is it's a fabric surface, and that is so much more breathable in summer times and also warmer in winter times, and it's really more comfortable when sitting on it. The Cayenne usually has the least comfortable seats if you compare the siblings for VW Touareg or Audi Q8 or Audi Q7, and here now with the fabric surface, especially long-term driving, is so much more comfortable indeed. The sports lightweight package, by the way, exclusive for the Cayenne Coupé, yes, but not only for the GTS, you can also go for a base Cayenne Coupé and then pick the sports design package or the sports lightweight package. They have the carbon fiber roof and also these fabric seats. And again, I can say the comfort is really way improved because a slick surface is always stiffer, and here the fabric surface more adapts to the body. A clean and sporty design here for the interior, and once again wrapped tightly. This is the design scheme. Sports chrono package here with the analog clock and 12.3-inch big display. Here soon more details to that. You can see the Apple CarPlay integration now also works wirelessly, by the way, so both cable or wireless. Android Auto not available for Porsche yet. Then the great Alcantara steering wheel, I can just recommend that. Driving mode selector here on the steering wheel, so when you turn that, you You can see here what's happening. Not only sporty, driving fun with the throttle input, but also activates the exhaust system, and the Sports Plus mode also changes then more to the chassis. So more and more chassis goes lower, and also the suspension stiffer and so on. Then shifting pedals here at the steering wheel. Instruments are split, somewhat analog with the analog gauges, and outside digital. Sumo leads also to that. Lower part here, clicking sounds with the climate knobs, RPM meter on the middle part, still analog, yay. And digital speed then, and here in the right and left, these are then the digital gauges, overdrive distribution, the anti-roll control and so on. Everything can be seen here. And here we go with the screen details. Here we can also put up the spoiler to show off to our friends. Yeah, that's always a cool thing to do, definitely. Other than that, it races over a speed of 90 kilometers an hour, or then more than 55 miles an hour. It races automatically on the outside. Here, climate control can be done here, but again, as I said, it can also be done with the keys in the lower part. Just the air distribution, this you have to do then inside the screen. The GPS looks like this, and you can also get a satellite view, not necessary, so you can also go with an easier view, but here quite responsive also from the power you have, and looks good and also leads you very well. Then the Apple CarPlay integration looks like this. You still have some space here on the right side, but you can make it bigger like this. And my playlist recommendation for today is this one here. We have the Bose sound system here, and it gives a really good sound, a very true sound indeed. The rear compartment, kind of a dark hole in the Cayenne Coupé. You have the split seating here, the single seating, left and right, but option you could also go for a bench that goes all the way through. Here in the Cayenne Coupé you sit a little bit lower because they want to make the bolstering a little bit different, and also the angle to give you still some headroom. With 1.86 or 6.1 there is still some headroom left even in the Coupé. 625 liters trunk capacity for the Cayenne Coupé, 150 liters less than with the Cayenne SUV. And here when I put a cabin trolley inside, here the only limitation would be that's not possible, which would be easier in the SUV, but that's then possible. So you only lose a little bit of height right there, but that's actually okay. You can release the seats from the rear compartment, cannot do it here. You can just lower it when you have the air suspension, the whole vehicle. Here you can still put a replacement tire if you like. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge, the active driving lounge today with the Porsche Cayenne GTS Coupé. We put to the sports mode that also activates the special sports exhaust we have in this sports lightweight package. And we can put it to Sports Plus mode as long as it's dry. Please do not use Sports Plus when it's wet, because it also draws back the stability control and so on. And now we do a flying start from 40 kilometers an hour to whatever, let's see. That's 200 kilometers an hour or 125 miles an hour, and wow, what an impressive acceleration and great sound as well from this 4-liter V8 bi-turbo, 460 horsepower here in the GTS version. And of course we're not lacking any power if you compare it to the turbo. Here still at 180 kilometers an hour, relatively calm, good noise insulation, and look at how stable the car is when changing lanes. It's not leaning at all. We have this anti-roll control here as well, and wow, I mean that's so impressive, and how precise the steering wheel is. Great grip with the Alcantara surface, awesome. Now the speed is getting reduced. Ceramic brakes, you have to hammer them, of course, as you know from ceramic brakes. Still a nice feeling, and of course great performance, and there's no fading effect with ceramic brakes, so when you really use them all over again. I would actually not go for them, they're too expensive. But this tungsten carbide coating they're offering, this is reducing brake dust and is also great in performance. This is something in between the normal standard brake and then the ceramic brakes, which are again too expensive. I think makes sense for the racetrack, but with the tungsten carbide coating brakes, they are not that expensive and still keep your wheels, your precious wheels, really clean. Here then also the feeling you have for the ceramic brakes, you really always have to hammer them, and for people that are not used to racing or so, this might also not be the most ideal solution. Here now in the tunnel, let's go once again to the Sports Plus mode. Let's drop back a little bit, open the window. Yeah, we can do that. So, well, so that sports exhaust is really something, you know. They do have a lot of problems, especially for the European vehicles at Porsche, because of these new particle filters and all the CO2 regulations and so on, to really get the sound going still. And I mean, it is also good when sound is not that loud. I think to me the most important is not like the dB count, that it's like very loud, but it has to be nice, you know, like growling sound. And this doesn't necessarily have to do with the, you know, loudness of the sound, just that the sound itself is somehow cool, you know. And here with that sports exhaust, I think that works very well. And I mean, here, how crisp the steering is, the steering commands very well transported onto the road. You have a great feeling. It doesn't feel like you would drive a big SUV. Rear axle steering is put in this vehicle, gives me more stability at higher speeds, more agility at lower speeds. And yeah, well, once again, these brakes are hammering really, really well when you then properly use them. Whew. So, I think once again, one of the sportiest SUVs on the market at all. Definitely. Once again, green traffic light. Let's go to sports mode. Look at that, how... Holy moly. I mean, how calm and collected this vehicle remains when you accelerate it out of the corner. Rear wheel bias from an all-wheel drive. Classic all-wheel drive we have in here. And it's... I mean... Just scroll back and see how the acceleration went out of the corner, how flawless it was. Then at the first point, the rear axle steering, you know, was also putting me around that corner, putting the rear wheels in a different direction than the front wheels. So that feeling is just pure awesomeness in sporty SUV driving. So once again, I can say that is very, very well done. And it is one of the very rare big SUVs where when someone would say, like, do you really want to drive that one on the racetrack? And I was like, yeah, why not? So that would be a lot of fun. Other SUVs also work on the racetrack, definitely. But the question is if there would be a lot of fun. But this one here would definitely also be fun on the racetrack. Really, really cool. Here, by the way, in the tunnel, there's not too much with ambient lighting and so on. That would have been maybe cooler, but then again, Porsche doesn't have this philosophy of big ambient lighting because they want to keep it rather simple and sporty clean. Once again, Sport Plus mode, when we are already at speed, about 80 kilometers an hour. Let's go! Once again, 200 kilometers an hour or 125 miles an hour. Of course, this car can go faster, but I mean, you always have to remain a safety aspect as well. And here, how stable, calm, and collected this car remains when we are at these high speeds, here, even inside that corner. Then lane change at these high speeds. Incredible. I mean, this is still behaving like a low-sitting sports car at any speed. That is super, super impressive. So now I have to, of course, pay attention to the other cars right here. And I don't have to raise my voice that much, although we're driving really, really fast. And I'm absolutely in control of that vehicle. That is one of the most unique things. Once again, reducing the speed. Easy task for that car. And this also, here, you know, asphalt change from one surface to another. Then a little bit in the corner and on the brakes. So for some vehicles I have like a little bit washing out effect here, but here the car remained very, very stable. Once again, as for the sporty driving fun, thumbs up. And now to our conclusion for today with the Porsche Cayenne GTS Coupé. First of all, SUV versus Coupé, it's more about the look really. This here, of course, the sportier look, and I think that's really well done for a SUV Coupé, that it doesn't look too bulky in the rear as well. It indeed looks sleeker and sportier and even more like a put-up 911. Of course, the SUV then has a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more comfort in the rear compartment there, and also a little bit more trunk space. That's the thing. Driving-wise, there's not such a difference. The GTS here, definitely the sportiest version of the Cayenne, although it's not the highest in horsepower, has the stiffest suspension setup. And you really have to like that. Sometimes you do lose some comfort on uneven roads, especially with big wheels. And even if you have the air suspension, but it is really recommended to go with the air suspension with the GTS, otherwise it will get even stiffer. Unless you really want that. This chalk color here is also very impressive. In general, of course, a design object here, the Cayenne for an SUV. Interior also really sporty styling. Great with this sports lightweight package that we have the fabric seats. Styling wise, you know, they are pro and con surely, so some love it, some hate it. But the fabric surface makes it way more comfortable to sit on the seats. They should definitely offer more fabric choices and then maybe just unicolor fabric choice or so to get, you know, a better offering in their whole surfaces lineup. Other than that, a very sporty ride, of course. It is one of the sportiest, if not the sportiest SUV out there, and so flawless, especially when you have the rear axle steering that makes it so much more agile and also easy to steer it around for parking lots and so on. And look at that stability and agility also at higher speeds. That was very impressive here on the motorway on the Autobahn today. Thanks so much for tuning in today. See you next time.